Hello, so let's learn about the complications of corneal ulcer. So corneal ulcer is very important and it can be happen because of many causes, might be some bacterial cause, some fungal causes. So which is a very important question that asked in the exams is about what are the complications of the corneal ulcer. So there is a two phases. One is before the perforations and after the perforations. So corneal ulcers are more prone for perforations, but before the perforations, if we can heal it, it won't go to the stage of the perforation. So let's start it. Before and in first initially when the corneal ulcer happens, this is the cornea and these are the layers of the cornea. There is an epithelium, basement membrane, and Bowman's layer, stroma, the cement membrane, and then endothelium. So when it started before the perforation stage, initial stages, so there is an inflammation that spreads into the iris and the anterior part of the ciliary body. So this is actually a uveal tract which composed of an iris, ciliary body, and a choroid. So when it get involved in inflammation of the iris and anterior part of the ciliary body, it causes acute uveitis, which is a complication of the corneal ulcer. Then when there is an ulceration and some exudates here, they will block the trabecular meshworks, and the passes here will be block the trabecular meshwork. And this trabecular meshworks, when it blocks, it increases the intraocular pressure, which leads to the our second complication, which is secondary glaucoma. And thirdly, when you see then there is an ulceration and it will involve the up to the stroma. So there will be the cement membrane and endothelium will be intact, but when these layers have been dissolved like others layers, so this the inner cement membrane that bulge inside, because other layers is not in the support. So when this bulged out, the cement membrane, it's known as this dysmetocele. So dysmetocele is also an complication. And lastly, when the corneal there is an ulceration, it wants to heal by itself. But in the process of healing, there might be three conditions that can happen, which is nebula, macula, and another one is leucoma. So when it is nebula is just shallow healing, so none of the vision is going to be lost. But when it is macula, there is a subdensity, and when it is leucoma, which is full density, is going to be involved, and it might be interferes within our vision. So after that, these are all are about the before perforation complications. Now get into the when after perforations, what are the complications can happen. So when it perforated the corneal ulcer, so that the cement membranes and the endotheliums got perforated, and it will involve, firstly, will you see from outward to inward, it is very easy to remember, because when it perforates the corneal ulcer, it firstly will get in contact with the iris. So when it gets contact in the iris, firstly it will happen, there might be a total iris prolapse. Iris gonna be prolapsed, and when the iris is prolapsed, it will create an adhesion with the the cornea, and which is known as anterior synecdoche. So there is an anterior synecdoche, there is an iris prolapse. Let's get into the second part, which is a lens. When it comes to the lens have two important complications. Firstly, it will involve the posterior subluxation or complete dislocation of the lens, and secondly, there might be an involve of complication of cataract. Cataract can be happen. Now all our lens has been gone, so now this inflammation will come inside into the eyeball. When it come inside into the eyeball, the first layer it got into is the retinal layer. So in retinal layer, it got retinal detachment. After that, when we see there is a layer of the inner layer, whole inner layer will be inflamed, which is known as endophthalmitis. But if it is involved in other two layers also, it causes panophthalmitis. These are also the complications. So after inner coated, it will get into the choroid. When it get into the choroid has a lot of blood vessels. When they are ruptured, they causes an hemorrhage, and which is known as intraocular hemorrhage, which is also a complication of the corneal ulcer. And after that, the inflammations will spread out, and something happens here is that there is some pus and all the membranes which are devascularized, and these membranes will adhere here, and there might be a vulvar conjunctiva will be given layer into it. It will see as an pseudo cornea. It will form as a cornea, but which is pseudo. That means it is not a real cornea. And this membrane, if it is associated with some evial tract tissues, like other evial iris or other tract tissues has been involved in this pseudo things, this is known as an anterior staphyloma. Anterior staphyloma is also an complication of the after perforation corneal ulcer. So for better views, you can go through the YouTube videos, or where there's anterior staphyloma, there have some pictures in Google as well, so it will be get better to remember all the things. So this is all about the corneal ulceration, and it is hope it could be helpful. Thank you.